Welcome, Miracle Makers. I'm here with, oh my gosh, my brother, my dear friend, Ron Holman. He's been on a quest, on a journey to ascend into light, to be light. He just recently returned from a journey in India. This journey in India has him accessing deeper levels of understanding of the mystery school teachings and truly understanding love and humanity. We're going to be answering your questions in a few minutes, but we want to summarize the first half of what has been shared thus far. You are a spiritual being having this incredible human experience. You are constantly transmitting a vibration, and your transmission is matched by a receiver in the invisible world. And whatever you are intending to occur, when you start transmitting to the receiver level, for example, a television station, right? You want to create an experience or go to the next level, you have to be, the receiver and the tuner have to be on the same channel. What you're transmitting has a frequency, a vibration, and that frequency and vibration is matched in the invisible world. And you are bringing into existence what you're always transmitting. You're always transmitting. And whether it's dis-ease that a doctor has sent you home to die with, or a beloved home to die with, and saying there's nothing that can be done, if you begin transmitting a higher channel, a larger broadcast, well, that receiver, the original transmitter, will get the signal from what you are transmitting. So Ron has been transmitting from love, from joy, from grace, this transmission that has allowed him to create a company that serves 1,500 new clients a month. This was a company that he's now retired from, but still manages to do beautifully, and he advises on the Holman Group, the insurance company, the Holman Group. For many years, he's traveled the world and brought back the Hero's Journey elixirs and shared the gifts and the teachings. And often the gifts are in physical form and allow someone to put their own intentions into that wisdom. Recently, he met with someone that's 230 years old, another powerful being that is able to bring people back to life, build temples, and was a just former billionaire that gave all of that up and stepped into the calling. When you're called from the inside out, you can put aside and transform into the butterfly. You go from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Swaha, what else can I add to that conversation?
Well, you did a beautiful job.
Oh. And we've been on this journey. Build a community around you. Build and be with those, whether it's many of the people you met were through social media in the past 10 years. Many of the people that you've connected with started by following people. We have now created all of these tools. Make sure you stay connected with Swaharan, the New Alchemy. We've got a page that we built called Discerning Wisdom.
There's a dash between discerning and wisdom. That has a bunch of stories on it about India, and some of the medicines are on there, and most of the medicines are on Anu, A-N-U, Alchemy, all one word, ALCHEMY.com.
I just realized we need to touch on money. because money is often something the metaphysical and spiritual world struggle with. And I'd love for you to just share, because it was, when I met Swaharan, I used to cry when I received money. It was very hard for people to actually give me money for my services. We lived in this world where it was an extraordinary thing to be able to practice and do all that I did with that philosophy. Since I've learned a more organic, natural relationship with the material world, with money, it's really, truly helped me be able to commit more to the interior knowing, the next level of creation that can occur for everyone I'm involved with. In other words, before I had a martyr relationship to money. And when I reset my internal channel to money, and Swaharan, just such a beautiful alchemy around that, quite wealthy. He took how much sapphire? The sapphires, and grinded it and made medicine for us.
Well, Bogart did that. I bought $60,000 worth of blue sapphires and gave it to him. And a year and a half later, I got a little baggie of powder.
So $60,000 worth that.
And I took the slightest little match head of it and just blew open my psyche. And I just went, oh.
So $60,000 worth of sapphires brought back, and Swaha shared it with the entire community, and all of us that were part of the community received. And the only way that I can describe what some of the medicine or spiritual awakening is like, when you feel your heart flutter and you have no control. Some people will also call it when your body's going into orgasm, right? An orgasmic experience, you have no control of your body, the way that it receives. That's basically what your heart does when it's transmitting stem cells. That's basically what your body does when it is connecting with some of these higher medicines. Crystals can bring this about. Medicine like this, water, it's an intense experience where your body's not fully in control, and it's a feeling of ecstasy, connection to oneness, something greater than yourself. Again, it's so important to get the right connection with money, this understanding of the spirit of money, the mental concepts, and agreements around that, and the energy and motion. Money is nothing but...
It's energy. And, so many people suffer from beliefs about money. Their parents, well, mostly their parents or grandparents, or their cultural beliefs about money, about how other people abuse money, take advantage of people. And, there's a lot of writings about money. It's easier for a camel to get through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. When
originally translated, it means an egotistical man, not a rich man, but one full of ego, versus a rich man. A lot of that has been translated poorly.
Right, but that's the way the message came through.
Yes.
To me, in Catholic schooling. And, money is energy.
Money is energy.
And it really triggers people's self-worth and value, how they value themselves. I really enjoy being paid.
I really enjoy being paid
and
being able to pay it forward.
And I am worth, what people pay me. And, I started singing a little song years ago. And who's on the $100 bill? It's Benjamin Franklin. The little jingle goes, Benjamin Franklin, my good friend, bring all your brothers and bring all your friends. Benjamin Franklin, my good friend, I'm ready to receive. Yes. So when you have money, when you have wealth, it is a huge responsibility. And it even triggers more of the stuff about lack and security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you have to, once you start making money and accumulating money, you really need to double down on your work and look at all of that. So
it just makes you more of who you actually are. And with it's really, really important. There's 5 areas that are, you've got to have your own experience with money, your own experience with God, your own experience with sex, with that, with energy, and with love. It's like no one else can experience love for you. No one else can experience God for you. No one else can experience the thing, the energy called money. It lights up the same part of your brain, the same parts of your body when you're in right relationship, meditation, understanding with it. And much of our world is suffering from this misalignment with not understanding love, not understanding energy, not understanding God, whatever your label for God might be, not understanding sex, and not understanding money. And no one else can do it for you. So it's so important. Those are invisible and intangible things until they become within you, right? Paper has no actual value. You can't eat money, right? In any shape or form. It's this invisible promise. You have to feel it and know it and experience it. And the way that you talk to yourself around this self-worth, self-love, it's no better to give than to receive. There always has to be a receiver for someone to give. It must exist. Yes.
So the exchange of energy. I can't tell you how crystal clear I am about the importance of an exchange. I have a number of healing abilities, and most of the ones in which people didn't really get anything were with my closest friends that I gave free healings to, and they didn't give me anything in exchange. It is so important that when we give or when we pay for something, a healing, a energetic course, your Miracle Makers course, a space opens up inside because you gave. And whether you realize it or not, when you give, a space opens up inside for you to receive then. It's really important for that exchange of energy to take place as joyfully as possible.
As joyfully as possible. Greg and I today went from 6 o'clock in the morning from holy space to holy space tithing. We're so grateful to be in our home, so grateful for all of the miracle makers, for just the journey. We literally went from holy space to holy space tithing today because we know the joy inside us. Our body knows, your body knows. And your body knows every time you didn't fully contribute as well. And this is important. Like your body knows and holds that record. And you can always tithe it or give it to something else. I love the miraculous story of there was this time that you gave forward money because there was a time in the past that the dealings hadn't been correct, right? And then you gave forward the money when that was coming in. It was such a gift of how it transitioned into healing for a whole lot of people.
It's very interesting. I came back from India with a city, a power, a psychic ability to read tarot cards like I've been doing it for thousands of years. And the teacher in India that I studied with, after the 2 days, she said, you know, you're as good as me. Would you read for me? And I did. And so I get home and I'm reading for people, and people are crying and everything. And so then I hear the voice, right? The voice says, so, Swaha, you like this tarot card city, huh? I go, yeah. So the voice says, if you want to keep it, clean up your house. And I immediately knew, you know, 25 years earlier, I kept a double payment from a client. I rationalized it and stuff. And so I immediately started donating money to nonprofits. I get to India and I've got half of it left. And I asked my spiritual brother in India to go talk to Papa, what we call Bogart Papa, if he'll take the other half as a restitution. So my brother didn't really know what that meant. So he went and found out and talked to him, and he agreed. So I gave the money, and then he brought back a whole pile of Navapasanam beads.
Yeah.
And I'm like totally confused because I know they're not my beads. I got something more valuable back than what I gave. So I got these beads, and I'm praying and praying and praying. What do I do with these beads? What do I do with these beads? What do I do with these beads? Finally, the voice says, give them to 9 healers, 6 women and 3 men. I go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I get back, I find 6 female healers, including Sarah and Tucson, and 3 men. I give the beads. I go, thank God. This is taken care of and done.
And incredible. I wind up dipping beads and making water. One of the women that I'm doing this with, her daughter was homeless, and I was taking care, I took care of the mother. Swaha took care of the daughter. It was an amazing journey, both of them receiving, and this woman regrew her lung. The daughter totally left her mental diagnosis behind. Again, both of them wound up working with me, and they're both healers now, which is an extraordinary journey, no longer separated from their wholeness, that faith, that love. And so that one deed of recognizing, let me clean up my house, clean up your house, finding the ways has now probably helped, have probably given at least 10,000 people water. How many thousands of people have you given?
I don't know, 140 or 150,000 gallons of water.
Water.
Went out all over the world.
All over the world. Egypt, India, Sicily. I mean, oh my gosh, everywhere. And this whole experience of understanding, you know, and you can carry the burdens of everything that's occurred to you with joy. And also anything that you've got to clean up, you don't have to go back to that particular person. Everything's energy. You can pay it forward and create the wholeness. And quite often that is what will cause your body dis-ease. And again, it's not your fault, but it's just this energy inside yourself that's wanting you to wake up to your energy, emotion, your emotions, to mental processes, to the spirit world.
So, you know, not going back to the person is an important concept to understand, because you could get yourself in trouble, or you could cause somebody else trouble. So, you know, I just like prayed and meditated, and if I could have given it back, I would have. But in this case, no, it really wasn't appropriate. So I started finding nonprofits to give, you know, the restitution to.
And if you can give it back, if you can restore it, the reason that you do, for the process of life, continuation of life, your body will thank you, your energy and motion, your emotions will thank you, as well as your ability to discern and navigate the future. So if you can give it back directly, and again, it's ego, or that will keep you from stepping into, and we break up the word ego into edging God out.
Mm-hmm.
Ego is necessary for component of you. And you can have an ego that's humble. And I think that's an important aspect. The more you've been given, the more important it is to be humble. The people that I know with the greatest powers, the greatest, you think of both, such an important journey. We're going to go into questions next, and we'll have everyone. Yeah, we're going to go into the next part. I can't wait to hear from you and for what you've experienced here and to answer your questions. We're stopping this recording here, and for you to have your section recorded, we're so grateful. Let me know if that's okay as we bring you on. Swaha, thank you so much. This is so fun.